Competitive solos seems to be the game mode where most players struggle in, but it shouldn't be that way, and in today's video on the ALOFT YouTube channel I will be going in depth on how to actually improve in solos and how to establish yourself as a semi-professional or pro player, and solos being the basis for that improvement. Please remember to subscribe to the ALOFT YouTube channel and turn on the post notifications, it would help us out a ton, and also my link's going to be down below as well. My YouTube channel is ImMoofie. I make these videos pretty much every day, but without further ado guys, let's get right into today's video. For this video we're going to split it up into 4 categories: start game, mid game, end game, and then general improvement tips. So start game, the most important thing about this early game period is going to be your landing spot. Now whether you land a POI if you are more very confident and you are a good fighter, or you land in between a POI and a loot run, maybe camp cod, maybe an alien base, or you just land a purely uncontested loot run, it really doesn't matter. The only thing you need to be noticing on off spawn is, are you making it out alive, and are you making it out alive with decent loot? If the answer to that is no, then you need a new landing spot, or you need to practice your drop and your off spawn fighting. That can be done in Battle Lab, which is a really good way to just practice with your friends, or if you are lucky enough to have a support creator, you can then use custom matchmaking, or you could practice in solo scrims. We're going to maybe have a look at Elite Fortnite for that, or maybe No Riley Customs or Proper Practice. These are good closed servers. So what can we actually do if we are dying off spawn or not having enough loot? If you're dying off spawn, you need to practice your drop, and that's going to be an easy thing to do. You can basically go into public matches, get the best drop, mark it down, and then you'll be able to know that every time you want to land at that place, you can just basically glide down at a certain point. You can message coaches on Twitter who sell things called drop maps. We actually have one in our loft called Captor. Now I don't think he will actually be able to sell you one, but there is loads of coaches out there that may make them, or you can maybe try and make one yourself. That is crucial to win your fight, because if someone lands first before you, you're obviously not going to be able to win that fight, and you might also get beamed out the sky. And it's also better to land first, because then you've got more time to farm mats and stuff like that. So it is crucial that that's one of the things that you work on. And let's say you are landing uncontested and you're not getting enough loot, what can you work on then? Then you need to expand that loot run, or you need to completely find a new landing spot, or if you are a confident player, maybe try and take a fight in the mid game or push POIs after your loot run. Mid game, this is where I see most people dying and most people struggling with. So what can you do to actually improve your mid game and make it so you get to the end game and win that game? Basically, mid game is about early rotating, getting power positions, which can be either on the top of a building or the top of a mountain, or at least some sort of natural or artificial high ground. You can also early rotate onto dead side. Now everyone knows what dead side is, but just a reminder, dead side is the area of the zone where the least amount of players will be, because no one has to rotate. So that can be mostly the place where it's facing the water, whether that be west, north, you know, wherever that may be, it's where it's facing the water, or it can be like basically where no one has to rotate in from. So if the zone pulls on the west coast and you know that people are going to have to rotate from maybe steamy, from maybe dirty, from maybe lazy or misty, then you basically know that wherever they're going to rotate into is going to be congested side, so get on the opposite side to that. And basically what this allows you to do, it allows you to maybe take a fight on dead side, get a refresh, that being mats, that being ammo, that being extra shield, maybe just siphon. It also allows you to get to a power position on the dead side, so less people are going to push you because they aren't going to be there, and then you can basically just refarm your mats, get excess loot, and then wait until the later game. Now how do you actually rotate through to the dead side whilst also avoiding going through congested side? And early rotating with boats and cars is crucial. But yeah, just early rotating with vehicles is important. If you don't have vehicles, you could pop peppers, but I would leave them for the late game. Worst case scenario, you basically get a late rotate and you have to maybe go through congested side a little bit. Just make sure you are avoiding players if that does occur. So now leading into the end game, you should be positioned towards centre map, but not directly centre map. You should be on dead side, maybe on a hill, maybe on a top of a house. What are you going to do in the end game? Now the end game is basically the part where most people play well in. There isn't really much to talk about because people do play good in the end game because that's what they seem to practice the most, that being in scrims, that being in zone wars, that being maybe in arena, and that's good. People should be practicing the end game because it is the part where you can win the game. Specific to this season, what can you actually do to win the game? Taking height to me isn't really that important this season because of how hard it is. People are going to launch pad onto you, people are going to pepper up to you, and it is going to be quite hard to maintain it. So maybe think about playing in mid layer and then right at the end going for height. You can also obviously, as always, jump into people's boxes, get refresh kills. We all know about that. We all know that on first moving you shouldn't be playing back of storm. You should be getting ahead and you shouldn't be looking for picks because first moving is the part where everyone dies, and first moving is the part where you should just waste your mats to get ahead of storm and then hopefully make it to second moving. Then you can start looking for refreshes. First moving is the hardest zone to get past in Fortnite because it's where everyone is not in the worst position. They all have pretty decent loot, everyone's got pretty decent mats, so then it's way harder to maybe kill people, it's way harder to maybe get through that because everybody is actually okay. And then after that people start getting scuffed, then you can start looking for refreshes because people are going to be less health, people are going to be easier to kill, people are going to be less maybe aware of their surroundings because they're just focusing on maybe surviving. Rotates with peppers are really good, but peppers aren't even that crucial to carry this season because you can basically just recycle launch pads. Make sure you're aware that there could be launch pads around you. Sitting in a corner as well and scouting your area would be a really good strategy for this. Also, if you find a chug, splash cannon, whatever they're called, on the ground, pick that up, carry that instead of peppers, carry that instead of everything apart from minis. Maybe carry a gun, that being an AR, and then a shotgun, and then carry minis, then carry that. That's a perfect loadout. That thing is OP and it is really, really good, and basically in all scenarios of the game. I know it takes up 2 slots, but it's 100% worth it. Please carry that if you do end up finding a llama. So that's basically the end game tips. There isn't really too much to talk about for the end game because everyone knows what they're doing. Now we'll go in for some general tips. Now if you get pushed towards the mid game, this is a thing that a lot of people struggle with. Basically, if you get pushed in the mid game, you need to show your opponent that you are actually going to fight back. So that being ramping up, taking shots at them, even if none of them land, you're at least applying pressure to let them know that you're not a bad player and that you know what you're doing. This would then hopefully make them less likely to push, or maybe more patient when they do fight, so they're less likely to jump in your box, they're less likely to take a 50-50, which is the way most people die. If it looks like a player is going to take a 50-50 and it looks like they are going to jump in your box, let them jump in your box, place a ramp in your box, edit out, then play right hand peek, play quite calmly, make window edits, basically get a good damage shot. Then you can then reverse that fight and you can then be the one to jump in their box as well. But just make sure that when you have reversed that fight into your favor, you're not then playing too aggro. You still have to play smart. I do this a ton. As soon as I think a player's 1 HP, I just fully focus that person, not worried about third parties, not worrying about my mats or my ammo or if anything's reloaded, just solely thinking about getting that kill. That's a bad mindset to have. You've got to still take it calm, you've got to still think that maybe they've healed up, that maybe they are a good player, they could still one pump you. So just think about that, don't just then go fully under the kill. Now obviously there will be stuff that I have missed out in today's video, but if you do want to see more videos like this, my channel will hopefully be linked down below, or you can just search in ImMoofie and let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this on the ALOFT YouTube channel, because this was really fun to record. But yeah guys, as always, have a fantastic day.